Hey, what's up guys? My name is Jab Skywalker, but you can call me Jabs. Welcome to another Overwatch 2 tank video. If you haven't seen my last one, I basically just gave my opinion on why I like playing tank in Overwatch 2, better as a veteran Overwatch player than Overwatch 1, and I do want to first say thank you all for the support on that video. I really appreciate you. In today's video, we're going to be talking about who I think are the top 3 tanks right now in Overwatch 2 and ones you should try to use. Now, of course, this is an opinion-based video, and I'm not saying the other tanks completely suck. These are just the ones that I think can carry you to at least gold. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Number 3. Orisa. Orisa is in this number 3 spot because I think the rework has been nothing but positive for her. She's not only capable of doing long range damage with her primary fire and the javelin, but if players get too close, she can use her javelin spin to push them off and even push back a charging Reinhardt. I think the best part about Orisa is that her abilities are just perfect for what a tank is supposed to be. Her Fortify literally makes her an immovable object. You're really going to need to get your weight up to move her. Not to mention, I literally feel like I'm protecting Wakanda when I play her. She absolutely destroys most DPS and healers and is able to get in close to them without suffering a lot of damage with her javelin spin. Orisa is a hard counter to Reinhardt, Roadhog, and Doomfist. Now, why is Orisa in the number 3 spot and not number 1 or 2? Well, 2 things. The first is her movement is lacking a bit, although it's better than her Overwatch 1 form. And the second is probably the most obvious is her ult. The biggest problem with Orisa's ult is not the damage or team play capability, it's finding the right time to use it. If you guys don't know, Terra Surge pulls enemies in toward you, and Orisa does a giant spin of her javelin to charge it up, and then does a big slam of damage. The main problem is the ult is too easy to get away from, and finding the right time to use it is also awkward because you have to be close to the whole team to bring them in. And it just makes it obvious when you go in the middle of the team, and I just think the best time to use Terra Surge is when the team is already weak, so you don't need to take a long time to charge up before you slam. Number 2. Diva. Diva. I've been playing her since Overwatch 1 and I honestly feel bad not giving my girl the top spot, but there is someone that is just too good to not be number 1, so please forgive me, Hana. Anyway, Diva is in this number 2 spot over Orisa because Diva has really good movement. And not only that, but Diva has a good amount of damage alongside that movement, along with some damage mitigation with her defense matrix. Diva also has unlimited ammo and doesn't overheat with her primary fire, so you can really pressure DPS and healers hard without worrying about not firing at some point. I think the best part about Diva is you can go from tanking the enemy tank's damage to pressuring a Pharah and then back again. You are more free to decide how you want to handle tanking and giving pressure with her boosters. You guys get the point. Diva can do everything Orisa can, but she can do it better and with good movement on top of that. Not to mention 2 lives as well, so if your mech gets clapped, you guys have to just get it back again by pressuring as Hana with the little baby Diva gun. When it comes to counters tank-wise, it really depends on how skilled you are as Diva. I would say in general, she can counter Orisa, Doomfist, and Winston, and Ball. Diva is in the number 2 spot and not number 1 because of that. Diva is very heal reliant when it comes to facing other tanks, and her self-destruct sequence is an amazing ult when placed right, and it can do a lot of damage, and it's a great way to get people from an objective during overtime. And it's not like Orisa's ult where you have to get in close and maybe take some hits from the enemy, but that's the thing, when placed right it kills, but if you don't place it right you can waste this ult big time. So while Diva is in this number 2 spot, keep in mind that you want to play both safe and aggressive at the same time as Diva, or it's bye-bye to your mech. Overall, she definitely fits well in that number 2 spot for me. Number 1. Zarya. Did you see this coming? I bet you did. Yes, Zarya is the number 1 tank in my opinion in Overwatch 2. Why? Well, simply because her kit is so basic yet so effective as a tank. If you are new to Overwatch 2 or thinking about playing Overwatch as a tank main, I highly recommend learning Zarya. If you don't know already, Zarya's main ability is her energy bubble, and not only does it block incoming damage to her and her allies, but it also makes her stronger when people hit it. And yes, that is why she's sitting on her throne as number 1. The fact that Zarya gets stronger when people hit her bubble is the kicker here, because people in the game usually don't know when to stop firing and think. Most of the time I play Zarya, I get to match charge within the first minute of the game, and when Zarya is at match charge, she shreds healers and DPS. I'm telling you guys, you can just walk up most of the time and kill them. Think about it this way, not only are you the biggest target since there's one tank, you have 2 healers to keep you up, but you also have an ability that says, hey, fucking hit me so I can wipe you out myself. It's a lethal combination. Tank-wise, Zarya is a hard counter to both Diva and Orisa, and pretty much most of the other tanks if they decide to give you energy. I would say in general, I do struggle against good Roadhogs and Sigmas as Zarya the most. Zarya is in a number 1 spot because of her ult as well. Graviton Surge is not only pretty easy to land, but it does damage and bunches the enemies up, leading to some amazing combos. It's different from Orisa and Diva's ults because you can be far away and they can't run away. Zarya is a menace to Overwatch 2, and she is claiming that number 1 spot for me. Now let's get to some honorable mentions, shall we? So, both of my honorable mentions for me are going to be both Winston and Sigma. Winston is a very good tank in my opinion, especially for newer players because you don't really have to aim and you can attack multiple targets at once. The reason Winston didn't make it to my top 3 is his lack of damage mitigation as a tank. The bubble just doesn't have enough health to keep the team safe for long, and if you don't have a good team around you, your dives are not going to be worth it. And with Sigma, it's actually the complete opposite. He's the only tank now that can put down a shield and do a lot of damage as well as block a lot too. The problem with Sigma is if you get pressed hard, and if you can't consistently aim your projectiles, you're going to get shot down pretty quickly. Well guys, those are my top 3 tanks in Overwatch 2. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Who are your top 3 and tell me why, all in the comment section below. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope the best of your todays are the worst of your tomorrows. Peace.